This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNN Live. We're at the Marcum MicroCap Conference 2015 here in New York City. Standing next to me is Mr. David Feldman, Richardson Patel. He's an attorney and a partner at the firm. David, welcome to SNN Live again.
Thank you for having me, Shelley, and here we are once again.
So I thought it would be a good opportunity to get an update on what's going on in Reg A+.
Sure. Unfortunately, some negative developments have happened, but I think they will be overtaken and be okay ultimately. 2 states have sued the SEC to stop the implementation of these new rules that will allow this streamlined, simplified IPO because the law takes the states out of it and preempts state review. The law is valid, but they're claiming that the SEC's implementation of the law was not. Most experts believe that they're just really grasping at straws here and that the courts will not allow this to go forward, but it's a frustrating development for sure.
So my expectation would be that most likely more states will follow rather than them retracting it.
I think more states will probably follow. It really won't change the outcome. They are worried that the slippery slope is moving against them and that more and more preemption of state review of public offerings will happen. Personally, I believe there's really no need for this 2 levels of review of public offerings. There's no unique local state interest in these transactions, and the SEC does a very fine job of carefully reviewing these. So it just adds a lot of cost, delay, and hassle, and the states need to recognize that the federal oversight is more than sufficient.
Let me ask you a question. What is the real reason that the states, Massachusetts and Montana, are saying no? What's the underlying reason? Is it money? Is it control? Please tell me.
It's power and money. They feel that they're losing filing fees and teams of people that review all this. It also helps them control their population as well. And it's about power. It's any bureaucracy exists to perpetuate itself. And if they're losing power, that's a problem for them.
So who's going to defend the SEC?
Well, I shouldn't tell you, but I sent an email to somebody who used to be at the SEC who was involved in drafting the Reg A proposal, and I jokingly said, I hope the SEC has some really good lawyers. But it looks they will probably do it themselves, or I guess the U.S. Attorney General possibly will represent them.
And why are they so adamant about bringing the SEC in front of the trial? You know, what's the purpose? I mean, besides money and power, you know, and why would other states follow? I mean, what about the states that don't want to be in that business? What about their say in the matter?
Well, you might find some states weighing in and saying, we're fine with this, but I doubt that. I think they'll either be silent or they'll participate, is what I think is likely to happen. But I think they just feel that if the regulatory environment moves further and further away from their involvement, that they can't just let that happen without a fight.
So how does it affect the business at hand?
Well, we have multiple deals going on in my office now under Reg A, and what we've told the clients is it is still or it will be in effect June 19th, and it will stay in effect until a court declares that it's not, which we strongly believe won't happen. But even if it does, it would only be going forward. So anyone that gets a deal through, it won't be an issue. So, and it'll probably take at least a year for this case to work through the courts, and very possibly they'll work some sort of settlement. Maybe the SEC will make some minor changes to the rule that will make them happy, and that may be also part of what's really at play here.
So if you're representing an issuer, and the issuer comes to you and says, what should I do? Should I still choose to go down the Reg A path? Should I do an S1? Should I do a reverse merger? How, as an attorney, would you advise the issuer? Because I think that's really what this comes down to.
And I'll tell you how we have advised our issuer clients, which is we're drafting the Reg A disclosure in the form of an S1, so that if we need to at the last minute change it over to a more traditional IPO filing, it'll be no problem to do that.
And what about the reverse merger? That's not going to have any effect on that either.
No, this whole challenge has nothing to do with reverse mergers, and there are still reasons why a reverse merger is very attractive, in particular because it's the fastest way to go public. And for a company that says, that needs money sooner rather than later in the next 2 to 3 months, and their source of financing says we need you to be public to write the check, that's when a reverse merger makes sense.
So crystal ball me, all right? Give me a little bit of, where's the growth going to come from? Because I felt Reg A Plus was a real boom for small companies. So does that put a damper on the market? Does it, have any impact? I mean, we're in the same business. We work with small companies.
Sure.
We work in the micro-cap world. So if I had to give my investors an opinion of what to do in the market in terms of, where to invest your money, what's your opinion on that?
I still believe Reg A Plus has tremendous potential to help lots of companies access a public trading stock more easily, quickly, cheaper than any other way. And it'll bring back these smaller $8, $10, $15 million IPOs that we haven't seen since the 1990s. But no question, this will cause some people to maybe pause a little bit and think about whether they want to go this route given this challenge is out there. But again, we're structuring them as we can always switch it over, so there's really no risk in doing it.
So ladies and gentlemen, let's get a website for you to go to get more information on many things, but in particular on Reg A Plus. David, please.
My blog is davidfeldmanblog.com. Our law firm is richardsonpatel.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Feldman, the informative David Feldman from Richardson Patel LLP. He's a partner at the firm. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNN Live, and we're coming to you live from the Marcum MicroCap Conference 2015 here in New York City. David, thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much, Shelley. You're welcome. Appreciate it.